What is up, guys? Pime up in here, and we are back with some more Trails of Cold Steel 4. Last time, we made it over to the Pantagruel, where we had a pretty big meetup here. We are in a neutral zone between Liberl, Erebonia, and Calvard. And all parties of different walks are here. We've obviously got the people from Liberl. Obviously leading the discussions is Cassius and Princess Claudia. You've got President Rocksmith here, and Lieutenant Kayla is here as well. And then you've also got, would we still call him Prince Albert? President Albert? I guess Prince King, whatever. Albert from Remiferia is also here. We met him once during the trade conference in Azure. And of course, you know, we've got the SSS here, the Bracers. Serene was able to meet a lot of people he hadn't previously met before. So now we're just walking around, talking to everybody, see what everyone's up to while these talks are going on upstairs. Grace? I didn't see Grace show up here. Alright, well, may as well say hi. Well, I sure am lucky getting invited to board the Pantagruel to carry out exclusive interviews. So many interesting people all in one place. LATO, Alisa, even Emma of the Hexen clan. This has gotta be fate. Eidos has guided me here to interview you all. What do you say? Maybe later if it doesn't take too long. Sorry, I'd prefer if you kept me out of the papers. Ever the keen journalist, Grace. You should be aware of this, but you won't be allowed to publish anything about this meeting in the foreseeable future. What about the freedom of the press? Just kidding. I understand that being invited to this top secret get-together is a great privilege, and I won't be able to write about it for a while. But once international relations become somewhat normalized, maybe I'll get the green light to publish a special report on this. After all, my duty as a journalist is to observe and document important events. It's definitely an important role. That's a sensible approach to take. I would take everything she says with a grain of salt. You're hoping the materials you collect here will win you the Pulitzer Prize, aren't you? Anyway, there's no harm in it, is there? I missed my chance last year and the year before. Well, we already know that Niall won it. And Grace wants to catch up. That's Grace, a journalist working in Crossbell. Whatever her reasons, she must have impressed the right people to be allowed here. Well, she was the big voice during the whole Azure stuff. Haha, the man of the hour. Reed Schwarzer, will you agree to an interview? I'm not at liberty to talk about a lot of things. Grace, you're putting him on the spot. She's very single-minded about interviewing people, but she's a nice person. Boo, you're no help at all, Tio. Reen, you look just like Grace, walking around sniffing out info. Well, it's not like I'm not curious about the meeting. By the way, I was surprised that Vita didn't show up. Me too, she left the barrier and vanished somewhere. Worries me a little. Yeah, it's kind of suspicious, huh? You're nervous she's plotting something. I don't mean to sound ungrateful since she's helped us numerous times, but Vita's known to pursue pretty questionable goals. I think we should give her the benefit of the doubt. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, right? Thanks, Reen. If only the same could be said of my mother. Chairman Arena, well, she's raised a wonderful daughter. No way she'd be a bad person. Aw, thanks, that was nice of you. Do I sense a scoop? Why is the Ashen Chevalier so sweet to you? Are you perhaps in a relationship? Grace, control yourself. Sorry. You can tell her off any number of times. She goes back to her MO right away. You bulked up since I last saw you, Lloyd. Yeah, and he no longer keeps his jacket zipped up. You haven't grown taller as much as wider in the shoulders. Life on the run's better than hitting the gym. Had to get my outfits retailored. Oh, I didn't notice. You see him every day, so the difference isn't as obvious. But he looks more like his brother now, doesn't he? I've only seen him in pictures, but yeah, I'd say so too. Now, if only I had his height, too. Is it Guy Bannings you're referring to? He was once a high-ranking officer at the Crossbelt Police Department, but died in the line of duty 5 years ago. Yeah, we used to live nearby. I only know him from visions of the past I've seen here and there. He was super tall and he seemed like a really reliable guy. Yeah, I feel like such a kid compared to him. But there's no use in wishing I was more like my brother. I've got to play the cards I've been dealt. It's me you've got, not him. And I'm determined as can be to end this and work towards independence for Crossbell. Me too. Spoken like a true leader. It's no wonder you were able to shake myself and Instructor Rean off during our encounter 2 years ago. Well, he's been through a lot. In fact, I might have had it easier than him. I want to say no, but at the same time, it's different circumstances. It's news to me that he had a brother, though. His brother sounds like an amazing person, too. Instructor Rean, aren't you busy playing nice with everyone? Well, we've got to make the most of this opportunity. Lloyd, there's a lot for us to catch up on. I'd love to get a drink or two with you if you had the time, but... Sweet, I'm coming too. How about I go to a place I know when this thing lands? It's got some pretty nice... Randy. Alright, alright. That's just like Randy. Actually, that reminds me. Risha Mao is busy elsewhere right now. Yeah, there's a bunch of different factions at play here, both within and outside Erebonia. The other members of the SSS and our close allies are all busy dealing with them. Like Noel, Chief Sergei, Dudley, and Arios? That's right, Fran and Wazi help us out sometimes too. Sonia and Muriel have been keeping their heads down, though. They can't do too much considering their position. They're members of the same Crossbell Guardian Force that was absorbed by the Imperial Army, aren't they? Both very capable officers. Yeah, they have the same objective as we do, but different obligations. Not unrelated to the contents of today's meeting. Okay, I'm starting to get a clearer picture. You can't help but get an idea of the master plan, looking at all the people Muse and General Le Guin invited here. Wow, Rean, I'm impressed. You ever think about... Why is everyone trying to recruit him? You ever think about becoming a detective? Recruiting him on the spot? I doubt I can match up to the pros. Okay, can someone tell me what's going on? Same here. Only thing I know for sure is that these two gotta stop showing off already. I believe you are just projecting, Instructor Randy. You could do the same if you tried, Randy. Hey, I'm not sure I like what you're saying, Keto. Rean chatted with Lloyd's group for a while. Vantage Masters with Lloyd? You know, I don't think I'll ever run out of things to chat with you about. But if I could just bring up one more thing, I heard from Yuna that you play a bit of Vantage Masters. I play against Kia from time to time, so if you're ever ready for a match, let me know. Oh yeah, you're on. So we have to make sure things don't get too out of hand. You're telling me. Is it even fair to play against Kia? I feel like she'd be the most overpowered Vantage Masters player out there. I think the ultimate match would be Kia versus Muse. Or Kia, Muse, and Ren. Lucy, Eustace, Elliot, and Elise. This coffee is excellent. Yeah, and the biscuits are great. They're Remiferia's specialties. I'm glad they're to your liking. Afternoon coffee and biscuits. What a wonderful custom. I could get used to this. So true. I was worried you'd be pretty unapproachable since you're the Grand Prince's secretary. She's only unapproachable if your name is Lecter Arundel. I was surprised to learn you're not that much older than us, though. You're really young for your position. My situation is quite different. I'm close friends with Princess Alphen. I've been appointed especially for this occasion. My family is quite known in Remiferia. You might have heard of the Salins? Let me think. Salin, where have I heard that name before? The Salin Company produces medical equipment shipped worldwide. Remiferia is famous for being at the forefront of medical research, which becomes a bartering chip in relations with other nations. The Salin family, besides owning a prosperous medical company, has strong connections in the government. You've done your homework. The current state of affairs is deeply worrying for Remiferia. Our country is small and relies on advanced technology and scientific research to remain afloat. We're not prepared to deal with this war in the least. I understand your predicament. I'm sure it was something we could do to help. Well, let's see how these talks go first. I was wondering what her special secretary position was all about. She's very good with words, though. It's easy to see things from her perspective, and she encourages others to side with her. Why don't you join the conversation instead of standing in the doorway? The Grand Prince made the right choice of appointing her. Oh wow, so no, I guess we could say hi. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Reen. Do you have the time to take a break? I have coffee and snacks. Oh no, don't mind me. You're in the middle of an important discussion. I don't intend on to stay long. Just before I go, I hear you ran into my students back in Lamar. That's right, I didn't realize their connection to you at the time, though. I'm afraid I was unable to properly introduce myself at the time. I apologize if I caused them any unnecessary wariness. No worries, they know you weren't keeping secrets just for the heck of it. Must be Eidos' will that we'd meet like this. Well, that and some careful planning from Muse. It's a shame we don't have more time to just sit and talk. We should get together over a nice cup of coffee sometime and get to know each other better. Yeah, it sounds like fun. Let's make it happen. How nice. I mean, I'm waiting for... I guess, obviously Lucy and Claudia know each other. So maybe we'll see them talk a bit. Alright, we got the girls group over here and the guys group over there. I think these are our last two, yep, okay. I never dreamed I'd be in the presence of the President of Calvard and the Grand Prince of Remiferia. Crown Princess Claudia and Lieutenant General Cassius are here too. Man, this place is crammed top to bottom with bigwigs. Me, on the other hand, I'm just some schmuck with an airship. What am I doing here mingling with them? What's the problem? You're great at mingling. Besides, you've been helping out Lloyd and Reen a bunch. There's no reason for you not to be here. By the way, thanks for helping me and Agate cross the border into the Empire. Things would have been way harder without you. Tita, I told you that was no big deal. You saved my bacon too in Heimdallar. Seems like Capua Delivery Service is always there to help when we're in a pinch. Your services are a lifeline for the guild too. Everyone's thankful to have you guys around. You don't work for Jaegers, and you stay away from shady business. That counts in your favor too. Look, it's a business. We have to do what we have to in order to turn a profit. Ooh, she's blushing. Ooh. You guys, stop it. Really like teasing her, huh? Don't worry, it's friendly teasing. Leaves, as well as the branch campus, used to be within the Capua Barony. The members of Capua Delivery Service used to be Sky Bandits, but they seem like decent people. Hey, Reen. You're quite the social butterfly today. Just making sure I talk to everyone. Cassius is next on my list. Makes sense, since you both studied with Master Kapai after all. If I'm being honest, I'm not really sure why he and Chloe agreed to come all the way here. And I don't know what to think about this Duchess Cayenne. The whole meeting is giving me some bad vibes. Muse's not a bad person, I promise. I can only imagine she must have been playing this for a while. She tries not to show it, but the situation in the Empire was probably bothering her a lot. You noticed too, didn't you, Instructor? Yeah, I did. But from what I heard, Yuna saw right through her when they met back up.
世界の命運を左右できるほどの すごい計画を考えられる天才だからって、それとこれは話が別じゃない。そんな普通の子が何百万人も死んじゃうような一手を平気で撃てるわけないでしょ。
And that's why she has the gun. She might not be able to live with herself after doing that. It might be one of those things where she feels like if she has to make these people lay down their lives, then she should have to lay down hers as well. You know, die alongside them. We caught a glimpse of her true self back then. She's only 16, younger than me. I've heard this and that about the Cayenne family. The Duke before the last was widely believed to be a just and wise noble. When he died in an accident, his younger brother inherited the title, but all he cared about was his personal interests. Yup. Musei's foolish uncle even stirred up the Civil War, and their family was about to be stripped of their title and privilege. And yet here we are with Musei as the mastermind behind a plan to save the world. She's got more guts than anyone on this ship. I think I can empathize with her more after hearing that. Yeah, me too. Judging from what I've heard, it's no surprise she understands. There's no telling how these talks will go until they're over and done with. But regardless of what major events are set in motion, we must not forget about the individuals that will be swept up. Yusei's one of those individuals, so do me a favor and stay by her side. I doubt you need me to tell you that, though. You really are amazing. Huh? You really just say what you think without beating around the bush, huh? I see now why Tita compares you to the sun. You're bright and you dispel any shadows of doubt in others. Thanks for the advice. That was my intention all along, but I needed the kick to get around to it. Glad to help. Good luck. Thanks. Oh wow, more? Oh, Estelle, there's something I've been dying to know. Oh my god. You and Joshua are together, right? But how far exactly have you guys gone? Huh? That's so out of the blue. Don't try to wiggle out of it now. I'm burning with curiosity, too. You wouldn't have tried to dodge the question unless... Whoa. Why are you all bugging me about it? Ugh. I can't tell you when Reen's right there. What if he hears? Looks like they're talking about something personal. I don't want to be a third wheel. I better go. Well, so much for that. Hey, Cart Nash. Good to see you again. Happy to have your instructor back? Yes, very much so. It was only possible thanks to everyone's help. Agate was pretty impressive with that sword of his. Really see where he got the name Heavy Blade. Those two weren't too bad either. I might have taken a couple swings, but I was just one of many taking part in Operation Bust Reen out. Same goes for me and Kia. Maybe our timing was lucky, but credit goes to everyone equally. Joshua, Ash. Don't the two of you have something important to talk about? Ren. She's right, don't put it off. Everything's going to shit right now. There's no guarantee you'll be able to see each other again. Yes, you should sort things out now. There's no denying that Raquel has become home to you, Ash. But I'm sure there's value in learning about the place that led you there. Oh boy. I wish this was voice. This is such an important, conversation, but it's fine. Hamel was just a small village. It had no more than a few dozen inhabitants. As a result, there were very few children living there. Leve was the oldest at 16. My sister Karin was 15, and I was 6. But there was another boy, too. He was 3 years old. He was too young to play with us much. But ever since he was a baby, we looked after him. I was looking forward to playing with him when he got a little older. He was almost like... Stop. He was almost like a little brother to me. But then those peaceful days abruptly ended. Yeah. A group of Jaeger dropouts posing as the Royal Army opened fire on the villagers. I watched on as Jan and Amelia were shot. There was blood everywhere. Their son... Oh, Jan and Amelia were Ash's parents. Their son fell to the ground, blood all over his clothes. We fled. We ran and ran, too afraid to look back. Survival is the only thing on our minds. That boy didn't die, though. He merely fainted from shock. We had no idea. Eventually, we made it out of the village. Levi stayed behind to distract our pursuers. He told me and Karin to keep running. But we got ambushed by another group of Jaeger dropouts. The harmonica. Joshua. That's truly heart-wrenching. I've heard it before, but it gets me every time. That's what happened 14 years ago. At least that's how I remember it. That boy we left behind might have a different perspective on the events of that day. He may have hated us for escaping without him, and I can't blame him. The bullet you fired at Emperor Eugen... I can't speak. The bullet... I can't even read it. It's so hard to read. The bullet you fired at Emperor Eugen should have been for me. Joshua? It's alright, Ren. It was a shock when I heard about what happened in Heimdallar. I realized the burden that boy from Hamel and had to live with. But even though I felt immense guilt that we hadn't checked to see if he was alive, that we hadn't taken him with us, there was another feeling too. Overwhelming joy. I can't say how happy it made me to when I found out he had survived. Joshua. Thanks for being patient listening to this long story of mine. Heh. Don't know why you bother telling me when it's got nothing to do with me, but... It wasn't entirely boring. I managed to stay awake till the end. Ash. Glad to hear it. Thanks, Ash. The Hamel tragedy took place about the same time as I was first taken to Ymir. I'm glad Ash was able to hear Joshua's story. Even though he still doesn't want to accept that he's... whatever Joshua almost called him the first time. Oh, I didn't notice you were there, instructor. Hey, Reen. Dude, eavesdrop much? Sorry about that. But the same event Joshua was talking about pretty much changed the course of my life, too. So at least it's a little relevant to me. Why so defensive, Ash? I thought you said Joshua's story has nothing to do with you. Well, she's got you there. Whatever, screw all that old drama. We got plenty of new drama we could talk about, for example. What's going on with you and Russell, huh? The hell are you talking about? Huh? Oh, why don't you share with the rest of the class? Ren, it's not like that. Damn, you can't see what's right in front of your face, old man. We all know what's going on. It's obvious to anyone with half a brain. Who the hell are you calling old, you little brat? I'm only 28. Is he really still that young? Oh, this is entertaining after such a serious conversation. Why are we even talking about this? That's a very Ash way to change the topic. He used to be such a crybaby. I'm glad Eidos kept it safe. No, not just her, it's thanks to a number of kind-hearted people. Yeah, thanks for sharing the story with us, Joshua. Of course, thank you as well, Reen, for all you've done for him. Joshua being a nice big brother. Alright, so they want us to go back to the center. Let's do it. Sounds like the meeting is over. Well, I guess Alphen had obviously an opportunity to get changed.
Oh, 君はリーン・シュバルツァー君だったか。
Oh, I guess they would want to meet him for sure. Look at his very proper pose with his arms behind his back. Yes, that's right. I'm honored to make your acquaintances.
灰色の騎士の有名は共和国でも知れ渡っておる。
Yeah, I'm sure most Calvardian citizens hate him.
まあさすがに悪名としてだがね。
That's perfectly understandable. However, I hear you single-handedly destroyed a number of our tanks and gunships without killing those within. It was quite a feat, which spiked my curiosity. I see now why Lady Mildine, Princess Alphen, and General Le Guin hold you in such high esteem. Thank you for the compliment. Please accept my apologies about your tanks. It was nothing personal. You've also played a part in the Northern War, didn't you? Remiferia and Northumbria have been on friendly terms for quite some time. It pains me greatly we could not do anything to help them. Your involvement contributed to a significant reduction in casualties among their citizens, though. You give me too much credit. I wasn't acting alone. No need to be so humble. I heard stories about you from refugees who fled to Remiferia when Northumbria was incorporated into the Erebonian Empire. Modesty is a fine trait, but it starts to grate when people downplay their achievements. I acknowledge your importance. You're the person whose actions may very well decide the fate of the world after all. Heh, there's still plenty of time until dinner. If you'd like to chat some more, I'll be in my room. Since the acting Duke Alberea and the fellow from the Inspectorate are here, why not invite them along as well? I've already informed them. I will also be retiring to my room until dinner. Feel free to come and see me if you wish. I'd like to speak with Lloyd, too. I'll go and tell him.
ようやく会えたな。
Here it comes. Lieutenant General Bright, I've heard much about you from Master Kafai. I don't think I've had the chance to introduce myself to you either, Your Highness. I am Reen Schwarzer, son of Baron Tio Schwarzer and disciple of the Eight Leaves One Blade School. I currently work as an instructor for Thor's Military Academy's branch campus. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintances.
お目にかかれて嬉しいです。実はティータさんやジョゼットさんからリーンさんのお話は聞いておりまして、それにオリバルト殿下からも。
Aww. I'm honored to hear that. What happened to Oliver was truly heartbreaking. He had this grand vision, you see. It wasn't only with Erebonia's best interests in mind, but those of the entire continent. Yes, he was a great man. Victor and Toval were good friends of mine as well. Their deaths dealt a heavy blow to Erebonia. I'd say it was felt by the whole continent. But now we must carry on without them. Even if that involves committing to something they most certainly would never have approved of. Huh? If you'd like, why don't you stop by and chat for a bit before dinner? Cassius, you wanted to talk to Estelle, didn't you? Yes, and the others as well, Ren, Tita, Agate. Please do come along, Reen. We can reminisce about Master Kafai together. I'll definitely stop by. Ugh.
リーンさん、お疲れ様です。
Hello, Alphen. Whole entourage here. Hello, Princess Alphen. Are you alright? Of course. I was a little shocked about the topics of discussion, but I suppose it's good we were able to talk about all those pressing issues. Princess. I see. I'm sorry I couldn't reveal the intended scale when I invited you, Princess. I trust you understand this was an inevitable reality. Your presence here was of the utmost importance. Yes, I'm well aware of my responsibilities. With neither father nor my brothers available, it falls to me to represent the Imperial family and remain informed of the current situation. Would you be so kind as to share some of that information with us at dinner? That's the plan. We could use more input on the matter at hand. We'll all be cooperating, of course. Bracers, SSS, and representatives of Thor should make their voices heard too. We'll need to know where they intend to position themselves between Operations Jormungandr and Milla Mirage. Dinner won't be served for a while, though. Princess Alphen, Elise, why don't you join me for tea? You may join as well, Instructor, but the topic of discussion will most likely not interest you, given how easily you embarrass. I can never tell if you're joking, Muse, but tea sounds good to me. Yes, count me in too. Maybe Claudia can join us. Yes, I'll extend an invitation to her. Instructor Rean, will you be coming? Please do. If you insist, I'll see you in a bit. Alright. I think there's like another wave of us talking to people. There's still time to chat with the attendees before dinner. I might want to speak with President and Prince Albert. Okay, so it is Prince Albert. There's Lieutenant General Bright, too. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. So that's the required one, and then there's some optional ones. But, like, if you want to talk to more people after seeing where... Oh. So you can't even go back to these rooms. Okay, you can't go back to any of these rooms besides these ones. Wowzers, an exclusive interview like this surely makes my day. What are your thoughts on the development since the trade conference 2 years ago? And what's your take on recent incidents in the Principality? I've answered those questions for the Ardent Press before. Grace, was it? Listen, Grace, it's all well that you're so motivated, but you should think of your questions through beforehand. Somehow it hurts that much more being told off by a stunningly beautiful woman. Sounds like they're in the middle of a spirited conversation. Anyway, let's visit the Libero waiting room for now. President Rocksmith, in your opinion, how's the prognosis for Calvard looking? Not too bad, I'd say, for now. Lady Mildean's sharp intellect is truly something to be feared, isn't it? The situation being as it is, I'm determined to see things through on my end. President Rocksmith. What the new party does with the country once it's in their hands, though, I really couldn't say. I might have some information that might be of interest to you. Rocksmith's term is nearly over. I shouldn't interrupt their conversation. I'll come back a bit later. Alright, let's do it. Chloe, how are you? I'm well, thanks. I haven't seen you 3 in months. Good to see you again, Joshua, Ren. And you guys. Been a while. Tita and I saw you in Grand Cell before we set off for Erebonia. So happy to see you again. It's the same for us, but we headed to Calvard instead. How is the Queen? Very well, thanks for asking after her. What? Very well, thanks for asking after her. That's odd. She couldn't have attended with all the attention around her right now. Oh, I see. Wait, thanks? No, that still doesn't make any sense. That's why she sent me in her stead. I see, she needed someone trustworthy to represent her. But these talks are so crucial, why didn't Julia and Seek come too? I imagine some urgent matters kept them busy. Seek hardly has a moment to spare working as a messenger. I see. Based off that, I suppose I have an idea of what's going on. Yeah. I doubt people were just making small talk over tea and biscuits in there. Can you share anything with us, Dad? We haven't seen each other in half a year and it's straight to business, with neither hello nor hug. I suppose a father can't hope for love and affection from his daughter once she's left the nest and become independent. Don't guilt trip me for not being all sugary sweet. You seem well anyway. You too, Sunshine. Joshua, everything all right? Yes, all's going well. So you're Chloe's bodyguard today, Dad? Oh, don't tell me that's all you're here for. I won't believe it. Well, have some patience. Everything will be revealed soon enough. Ren, did you get taller? You've grown a lot since I last saw you. I'm only taller by 5 reg. I'll catch up with Tita at this rate. No, please don't. It took me a long time to stop looking like a kid. Don't worry, Tita. You're still growing. You're only 16. Estelle had just joined the Bracers when she was your age. Feels like it was only yesterday we were traveling around Liberal together. It really does feel like it was just yesterday. All these characters involved. I was a Sky Bandit back then. You might be older now, Estelle, but you're still as happy-go-lucky as ever, I see. That's not the worst thing in the world, is it? As for you, Josette, even grown up, you never lost that little urchin attitude. It's part of my personal identity, you see. Tita, I hear you've been making a name for yourself. Your grandfather had nothing but praise for you. Apparently, though, your mom worries about you a lot. She's just a worrywart. I write to her to let her know I'm fine. I already messaged her to tell her everything's okay. She mentioned something about Agate getting his comeuppance next time she sees him too. She said she was drafting a new research project involving human test subjects. What? Mom. It's like the good old times again. That reminds me, Estelle, did you see Zin when you were in Calvard? I did. Well, at least we know where he is now. It was just before I came to Erebonia. He asked me to pass messages for him to my dad and a few others. Oh, brilliant. They've got lots to talk about. I don't want to interrupt their fun. I should come back later. Too late. Oh, hello, Instructor Reen. Reen, sorry we were so caught up in catching up. We didn't mean to exclude you. Don't be shy, boy. Come join us. Sure, if you don't mind. Now, here's the question. Is Chloe gonna see Lecter? I'm sure they have more to talk about now. You seem to be enjoying yourselves. That's no surprise when good friends get together. They bonded during the orbital shutdown phenomenon. It's regrettable Olivert is no longer with us, and Scheherazade has gone missing as well. Regardless, we must stay focused on what's ahead of us and try to be optimistic. Wise words. By the way, I'm happy to see you, Reen. Master Kafai has been telling me about you. This young man has even more potential than you, Cassius. I'm sure that's not true. He must have been teasing you. Besides, there are so many complicating factors now. Oh, were you speaking of your background? I've heard of it, and I'm aware of the cause of your altered appearance, too. Don't worry too much about what you can't change, Reen. And by the way, I got a letter about you a month ago from a certain man on an eastward journey. You don't mean Master Kafai? But I was still in prison then. Yes, so I hear. Oddly enough, it was foretold in the letter. Whether it was a prophecy or a wild guess, I cannot tell. How would he know that? A frighteningly accurate prediction. What was the letter about exactly? That's the thing, Reen. In light of the current situation, I'm afraid I cannot tell you yet. Huh? It's not the right time nor place. But to give you a rough idea, the letter regards mastery of our school of swordsmanship. In this time of turbulence, become a flashing blade which illuminates the darkness, even if for a briefest moment. Once I have returned from the East and we have reunited, I shall impart you my final teachings. The forms our master passed on to me are the first, Helix, and the seventh, Void. You, however, seem to be trying to touch on all 7 forms. In doing so, go beyond even Void. You understand how difficult such a feat will be, don't you? Of course, with the way I am now, I'm not confident I could ever achieve it. But you're right, this isn't the place to discuss it. Just keep it in mind, we'll come back to it later. I'll relay our master's message for you when the circumstances are right. We've yet to see where today's talks lead to. But a time when great determination and sacrifice are needed is no doubt to come. I'll be ready for it. Aw, they got on like a house on fire. Yeah, you couldn't tell they've only just met. Having something unique in common, like their fighting style, brings people together. Feeling a bit jealous now. Looks like we're the outsiders. I totally get that, though. Agate, are you feeling left out too? Nah, why would I care? Excuse me for butting in, I'm from the Crossbell Times. Could you please spare some time for a real quick interview? Your Grace, serious about your job, I see. I bet Niall and Dorothy gave you their lists of questions for the attendees, too. At least we get the name drop from them. Cassius and Claudia agreed to the interview. Rena and the others excused themselves to give them some privacy. Everyone's been moving around. There's still some time to chat with the attendees before dinner. Is there more? Okay. Oh, wow, we have all... Okay, well, we're gonna do this all next time. We have a whole nother... We'll handle, like, one room. But we have to talk to everybody again before moving on. So, definitely gonna do it next time. Alright, let's, what do we got here? We got Alphen, Lucy... Oh, Lucy and Chloe are gonna have stuff to talk about. Claudia, I'm terribly sorry about earlier. I was so taken aback I lost my composure. Thank you for being so kind to me. Oh, of course, considering the subject, it's no wonder you became agitated. You have a huge responsibility on your shoulders as a representative of the Imperial family. Thank you for being so understanding. Now that rings alarm bells. I'll just wait for the announcement at dinner and try not to worry for now, but... Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Estelle Bright, member of the Liberal Bracer Guild. It's a great honor to meet you in person, Princess Alphen. There's no need to be so formal with me. I've heard so much about you from my brother. It feels like we're already friends. Olivia... Whenever they stop the music, I feel like I'm gonna cry. Olivia was a dear friend, and what happened to him was a terrible shock. He went out of his way to get permission for me and Joshua to visit Hamel once things settled down in Liberal. When we heard what happened to him, we were all so heartbroken and angry. Me, Joshua, Shara, we all wish there was something we could have done to stop it. But I'm sure all our grief is nothing compared to what you must be going through. Estelle, thank you. Thank you for having been a good friend of my brother. I feel a little better knowing there were people who cared so much about him. Oliver was a very thoughtful and brave man, and a lot of fun to be around. When I was hesitant about whether to accept my duty as a crown princess, he gave me the push I needed. He also fostered friendly relations between Erebonia and Liberal. Despite his airhead appearance, he was a smart leader. Thank you, Claudia. He teased me for being so easily moved to tears. He'd come out with a line like, "At times such as this, I'd like you to become a ray of sunshine which makes courage bloom." That does sound like him. Regrettably, I never had the chance to meet Prince Oliver in person. However, I heard about him encouraging greater integration and cooperation between all nations of the continent. Please accept my sincere condolences, Princess Alphen. Thank you, Lucy. By the way, you were Claudia's upperclassman at school, weren't you? Really? Oh my gosh. Actually, Chloe did tell us about that Lecter person before. Does that mean... That's correct. I went to Liberal to study at Genus Royal Academy. I was on the student council together with Lecter Arundel. You two looked after me really well back then. It made my school life that much more enjoyable. What a small world. He's an Ironblood and a member of the Intelligence Division. He's a stranger person than I thought. But wait, the famously beautiful vice president who forced the student council president to listen to her no matter what? That'd be me. Chloe, I wish you didn't spread exaggerated rumors about me. Sorry, but they're not exaggerated at all. Even now, I can't forget the time you were asked about the most important thing in the world and responded with strength. Now you're just trying to embarrass me. Wait, did I really say that to you? Not directly. I overheard your conversation with Hans. So you were following me around listening to my conversations with other students? I wouldn't have guessed they knew each other so well. Olivert was so beloved by people from different backgrounds. It's a real shame he died so young. I'd be curious to know more about Claudia and Lucy's school life, too. Now Lecter stands on the opposite side of his former classmates. I'm sure I'll cross paths with him again, and with Claire, too. Ugh. Alright, well, we'll handle the rest of this next time. Well, hopefully. Who knows how long it'll take to talk to everybody here. But, yeah, we're getting to a lot of the connections that have been made over these past 8 games before this one are really coming in full here. You know, all these characters we've met are all together. I mean, not all of them, obviously. Like, you've got characters who are off doing other things. But a lot of the relationships we've seen grow over the past 8 games are now being shown in full here. So that's gonna be it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you're new to the channel. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.